As a designer, you know what I love most? I love a really good before and after. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I think this principal bedroom is a pretty good before and after. And in this episode, I'm gonna give you a tour of the principal bedroom, the ensuite bathroom, and the guest tub bathroom / powder room. Are you ready? Let's do this. So when we started, there was a door right behind me and we decided to change it to a window. Why, you ask? Well, because nobody was going out on that Juliet balcony. A Juliet balcony, not really a big feature for those winter use weekends. So instead, by moving the bed to the opposite wall, by changing the door into a window, it freed up the space to allow us to install a whole wall of closets, because the number one thing that this bedroom was sorely lacking was closet and storage space. We installed some IKEA pack storage cabinets and then dressed them up with beautiful brass handles. Look at how different this room feels now. What did I do in here? Yes, I painted everything. I painted. And this is a really interesting color. This color is called Balboa Mist. It's a Benjamin Moore color, and it's not white. So this room doesn't feel stark. I would call this is almost like a winter white or a wool white. If you think about the color of natural wool, this is it, my friends. And I like the softness it gives. It's almost a soft oyster shade. And we did a flat matte finish on all of the beams. And we actually sprayed this room. So this was not super labor intensive for the painters. They taped the whole room off and then they sprayed the whole room, and look at this dramatic transformation.
And it looks like 95% of you were thinking the exact same thing I was.
One of the neat features is I installed a basket light, and what I like about basket lights is, first of all, the price point. Let's face it, they are affordable. Second of all, it's that embracing of the natural material. I like the warmth of the color. And thirdly, I think my favorite thing is that when you put a nice big overscaled light bulb in there, the light shines through all of the woven fibers of the lamp and creates really interesting light patterns on the ceiling. How great is that? Affordable, decorative, beautiful, natural. Then next up, really, it was just a little bit of furniture. Remember that shopping trip that Tommy and I went on? Well, here's one of the beds we found. How about this bed?
How about this bed?
I feel like the lower bed height amplifies the effect of this cathedral ceiling, which is really quite fantastic. Wouldn't we all like to sleep in a room like this? Yeah, I would. I'd sleep here. The goal in this bedroom was to make it very, very light. I think of this bedroom as being a little bit like sleeping in a cloud. It's all very soft, pale, neutral tones. So we've got a little hint of linen, we've got a bit of a soft gray blue, the carpet is creamy white, the ottoman is covered in blue leather, and then we've layered in some very soft textures like the geometric patterns on the accent pillows, and check out these rope lamps. These were found in the Deals and Steals zone of one of our local discount home accessories suppliers, if you know what I mean. I think these were the steal of the entire project at $80, I think they were, for these fabulous chunky rope lights. Like everything in this room, like all of the colors in this room and all of the accents, the artwork is barely there. It's just a whisper. Pale blue, pale gray, a little bit of cream. The window coverings are super simple. They're just Roman blinds. And actually, guess what? This is leftover fabric that I had from another project where I bought an entire bolt and didn't use the whole thing. So I don't know about you, but I am always about using up the leftovers where they look great, where they can get a second life, where they can help the budget, and who would ever know? Well, I've now told you, so you all know, but yes, I love leftovers. The only place to put the window coverings in here is tucked underneath that beam, so if it were drapes, they would feel kind of short. So that is why I went with a Roman blind. There's nothing in this room that's fancy. It is simple, it is easy, it's just chill. Now, let's look at the bathrooms.
Now, we're a small crew on Design Life, but today we're even smaller.
How do I turn that off?
My husband/cameraman seems to have wandered off, so I've got to do everything myself. That's YouTube for you. Don't forget to subscribe. I gotta say that because we're on YouTube.
I want to just take a moment. Let's all just take a little look back at where we started.
No, not where I started, where the renovation started.
That was one country bathroom. And now we have a country bathroom of a whole different garden variety. This is of the contemporary country variety. This is fresh, chalet, new. I am psyched about how this bathroom turned out because we focused on so many simple solutions. So originally, this was a powder room. And that made lots of sense because it is right off the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen. But there's only one bathtub in this place, and there are 4 bedrooms, and there will be lots of guests. So the bathtub was in the principal bedroom ensuite, and I thought, that doesn't really make sense. So we did a simple boundary change. I'm not even gonna say we knocked down a wall. I'm just gonna say we did a boundary shift.
And here's Chris shifting a boundary.
We pushed the wall that used to be here over to here. Now it means that if guests are visiting with little kids, they don't have to go into the principal ensuite in order to have a bath. Kids can come in here. And that means the mom and dad zone gets to always be their zone. In terms of what we did in this bathroom, I really wanted to focus on what would be easy and most effective. The tub, well, I found it at a big box store. And the best part about this is it mounts right to the wall. So it is the best of both a built-in and a freestanding tub. We went with wall-mounted faucets, and I just ordered a simple single piece of Carrara marble as a backsplash, and then we mounted all of our faucets against it. And look how crisp and contemporary this looks. I just love it. We clad the walls in tongue and groove paneling, and then we painted it in a glossy pale gray. So the good thing about this paneling is it's durable, no issues with water, easy to install, and we didn't have to call in a drywaller because we were trying to minimize the trades that we used on this project and do as much of it as possible with the crew we had here on site. Let's talk about the floor. Ooh, I love this floor. This is the first time I've used this marble mosaic floor from one of my all-time fave sources, Saltillo Tile.
Success!
If you are a fan of antique quilts like I am a fan of antique quilts, you will likely recognize this motif.
This tile pattern, believe it or not, it's actually interpreted from an antique quilt pattern called Grandmother's Flower Garden, which sounds pretty old-fashioned, and this looks anything but. I'd say this is contemporary country.
Let's talk about this vanity. This is a mishmash of the best variety. So it started with the legs. Chris found the legs at a big box store. Then I was on site and I was describing what I wanted, and I found an extra board from the exterior siding. Perfect. Leftovers. Free. So we turned that into the apron around the sink. I got a remnant piece of marble, and then we bought a new sink, also from a big box store, and one of my all-time favorite faucets. This is by Rubinet, and this is the Genesis faucet. And so this is the splurge. We went with great plumbing fixtures in here, and then everything else we found, and we put it all together. And that's the fun. That's the magic of the process. I think these wall sconces are so cool. Antique mirror in a fan pattern. These came from CB2. I may never have used these before, but I'm definitely gonna use them again. The last finishing touch is the mirror, and this has a steel ribbon band that ties to the same tone as the steel legs on our little vanity. So that's it. That's this bathroom. Let's talk about the principal ensuite. Let's remember what that looked like. Oh, it was pink. It had Hollywood vanity bulbs, and the team here, we had a little bit of a challenge seeing eye to eye in terms of what the best layout would be.
We could shrink this to a 48-inch and make a bigger shower there.
We talked about it a lot.
Could we not make the vanity a little smaller, like a 48?
It's such a guy thing to ask.
We disagreed a little.
This is so you can prove your point that this is where the vanity should go?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay.
I think it's a perfect fit. That's a 60-inch vanity right there.
I know, but we could have an 8-foot vanity if it went over here.
And in the end, I got my way. I think Chris is okay with that. I think he's totally fine with it.
Well, Sarah got her way this time, but I have a little design surprise of my own. So wait till we get to the living room, Sarah. Stay tuned, everybody.
Here's how we work on my projects. We all come to the table with ideas. I'm not going to tell you the final idea is always my idea. Sometimes it's somebody else's, but it's everybody sharing ideas that gets us to the finish line in the best possible way.
Technically, what we could do is move this wall so that the tub now becomes part of the powder room.
I know some of you might think it's unusual to take a principal ensuite and make it smaller. Who does that? Sure, a big bathroom is nice. However, we have this giant beam. This beam right here.
I don't think you can move that.
You can't.
So I thought it was better to give the space to the other bathroom, and also, if you recall, we also gave up a window. And that's a big thing to give up.
Because that's actually quite a nice view.
We put a window here.
That's true.
We took out the little fan light window that was here, and instead we put in a fixed panel of glass that follows the peak of the roof. And in terms of making a space without a big window feel light and bright and airy, what do you need to do? Yes, my friends, you need to paint it white. So we sprayed this entire room in a Benjamin Moore color called Chantilly lace. If you're saying, Sarah, what is that white? It's a little bit warm and not too creamy, not too yellow, not too brown, not too gray. My friends, Chantilly lace. I can't tell you it's my favorite name in the whole wide world, but it's a great color. So that's what we did. We got a vanity that is over 80 inches long. That is a score. I think it's actually 90 inches long. And it is such a score, and it feels very open and it feels very spacious. And part of that is because this is a wall-mounted vanity. Every time you wall mount a vanity and you leave that space underneath it, I think it makes the overall room feel bigger and more spacious and more airy. So I encourage you to try that. Look at the fronts on this vanity. I really like them. They are three-dimensional, they have this faceted design to them. And the best part is, if at some point, in 10 years, if my clients change their mind and want to change out these fronts, they can. It's an easy solution. The vanity is IKEA, these round mirrors are IKEA, and the pendant lights, plus the countertop.
It's Choose Your Counter Day.
We decided to really play up our texture and tile story here. So we've done a straight herringbone pattern using Oriental white marble. And this is a marble, it doesn't have the gray veining that you'd get in Carrara. It is a little bit creamier, a little bit softer. So if you're looking for that more delicate, more fresh coloring instead of the cooler gray, and you want to work with the creams and the golds, you might want to think about using Oriental white. On the floor, we used a smaller scale mosaic in a hex pattern. This is a 2-inch Oriental white hex. And then on the wall, we did our snowflake tile pattern.
I see a snowflake. I also see the cube. Looks like more of you saw cubes than snowflakes. Although, I gotta admit, having a snowflake tile motif in a ski chalet is pretty cool. Literally.
So we've got all of these cool elements. We've got white, we've got natural stone, everything is crisp, everything is bright and fresh. So how do you make sure that that never feels icy and cold on the coldest of mornings? Well, infuse a little hit of gold. So we used satin brass as our plumbing fixtures. The plumbing fixtures again are from Rubinet, but in the tub bathroom we used a very streamlined contemporary faucet called Genesis, whereas here we've used the Raven series. And there's just a little bit more design detail on the handles, which I think lends itself so well to the satin brass finish. Plus, you know me, I don't like to repeat things. So if I use a gray and polished nickel finish in one bathroom, I want to do something different in each and every bathroom in the house because I don't want to do the same thing twice. Every bathroom is a new opportunity for interesting and unique design details. So be sure to pay attention to that if you're renovating more than one bathroom at once. Don't just pick the same thing for everywhere. That's just a missed opportunity. Picking stuff is the most fun part. Here's a trick. I have tall clients. She's 5'10", he's 6'3", I think. So ceiling height is important, which also means that the placement of the shower head is important. But we have this same low beam everywhere that runs through. My solution was to install a shower system that has exposed plumbing. We have the exact same one at the cottage, except it doesn't have the arched top on it. But the best part is it allows you to adjust the height of the rough-in so that you can get that shower head as tall as you want it. And it allowed us, by the arc that it has on the supply for the shower head, it allowed us to get up above the beam and get it way taller than we could have by any other method. So that was a winning solution. I don't know what else I can tell you about this bathroom, except when we started, there's not a chance I ever thought it would look as cute or as chic as it does now. She's white, she's pretty, she's bright, she's golden. I think this is a little jewel of a bathroom.
Okay, I know we're talking all about interior design here, but I also know a bunch of you are going to write and ask me where this cute North sweater is from. Well, it's made and designed by my girlfriends at Smythe. It's hand knit in Bolivia using sustainable alpaca yarns. And I know, isn't it just the cutest thing ever? I wish I could wear it every day, but that would get a bit boring. Thanks for watching. We've got more great content coming up for you, so don't forget to subscribe.